Well, after scoring a bunch of goals in October and winning 4 of 6 games, the Wisconsin Badgers have not been as productive in November, and the record shows it. The Badgers last weekend scored only 1 goal and lost twice at Ohio State. Keep in mind the Buckeyes were a Frozen Four team from a year ago. This weekend, Wisconsin's on the road again to play another Frozen Four team from a year ago, the Michigan Wolverines, who gave up 11 goals in a weekend split with Penn State last week. I'm Brian Posick. Stay tuned. Head coach Tony Granato joins us next on the Badger Hockey Digest. Well, Tony, I know last weekend didn't go as planned, but as I mentioned in our open, Ohio State, one of the most experienced teams in college hockey, and they showed it last weekend, didn't they?
They were good, and to give them credit. I think that it was a good wake-up call for us. We're not quite there yet. I think physically, the older, more mature team won the battles in their D zone especially. I think their D zone, they were really strong. They didn't allow us to get going in the offensive zone. Our speed and our quickness and our youth and our energy is how we, can compete against teams. And when they take that away by neutralizing it with their size and strength, it made us play a lot in our own end. I thought our D handled their big guys really well. I thought that part of it was good. But I just think the youth, came into play in that series. They were the Frozen Four team last year. They're as good a team as we played. We played some really high-end teams in North Dakota and a few at Minnesota and some other teams that I thought were elite teams, but I think they're the best we've played so far.
Yeah, and when you did have chances, especially on Saturday, their goaltending was really good too.
He was. He's big. I thought their D did a good job clearing out. We didn't get many second chances. When we made it 3-1 there, we had a little bit of push. We had a few good chances, and then also in that game, start of the game, we had 2 breakaways in the first period. I think we get one of those, and it kind of, gives us a little bit of confidence going in. I think we were kind of chasing it the whole weekend and really never got in a rhythm. So I think it's one of those weekends that we got to learn from. We got them in, a couple months down the road. We got to get physically better in the offensive zone and mature faster than they do as the season moves along.
Yeah. One young freshman that you have who is physically mature is Keandre Miller, number 19, the defenseman and first-round draft choice of the New York Rangers. He stands out as a man among boys oftentimes, doesn't he?
He is, for a young kid, the skill part and all of that stuff is great, but the competitiveness that comes from within is the part that I really enjoy watching. And that's what's going to make him, a great NHL player. He's going to be a great player for us, don't get me wrong. I think he's already done an outstanding job. He is so competitive when things don't go well. A lot of times he wants to try to do more. And I think as a young player, that's the one thing from a maturity standpoint that he's got to understand. Playing the way he's playing and playing within his limitations is what's going to make him great. And you love the part about to compete and trying to do more. But I think as he matures, you'll see him continue to grow and develop. And he already is a great player, but obviously he's going to get better as the year goes along.
Yeah, and he's only 3 years in as a defenseman too,
which is incredible. It really is. And I think Oz has really enjoyed the fact that when we were recruiting him, and he was he just started playing D when we were recruiting him. And I saw something right away out of the gate on his natural instincts of understanding the position, and to come along and come that fast and turn himself into an elite college defenseman his freshman year, just a couple years after playing the position, says a lot about his hockey sense. It also says a lot about his drive and his desire to get better. And he's a sponge. He's a coachable kid. I think that having Coach Osiki with him every single day is only going to help him develop and grow faster.
All right. That said, let's take 2 minutes with Keandre Miller. Being a highly touted recruit, there are a lot of demands. You have probably coaches, assistant coaches, among others, trying to reach out and contact you to tell you that their school is better than the next school. So how did you manage all that? Because that can be kind of daunting, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. I thought one of the probably easiest things for me to do is just contact some of the guys that have come through this program. A guy from Minnetonka, Jake Gardner, I skate with him in the summer sometimes, so I talked to him maybe 3 years ago about it, and he said it was the most fun school to come to. the hockey, like I said, the atmosphere here, the culture within the team, and really our expectations for every year. So I thought that was a perfect place for me to play, and that's why I chose here.
Sure. Then after committing and then eventually signing and then coming here to start workouts, you were part of the National Hockey League draft. What a thrill that must have been. And then to hear your name called as the 22nd overall pick in the first round by the New York Rangers, you're smiling right now.
Yeah.
What a thrill.
Yeah, speechless. There's really no words for it. You work so hard all your life to get, like I said, to that next level. And just to hear your name get called, knowing that you put in all that work to get where you are today, I really have no words for it. Obviously, I think about my mom every time I think about the draft, all the time and effort, money she put into for me to get to this point. So I really think about her anytime I think about the draft or even Rangers. So,
And probably here too. She's been your inspiration, hasn't she?
She has, yeah. She's done, like I said, a number amount of things, from waking up at 6 in the morning to get me to the rink to paying a couple $1,000s just to get me to a tournament out in Canada. So yeah, it's been pretty special to have her along on this whole journey.
The Learfield Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com, USA Today, or at L Directors Cup on Twitter or Facebook. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
Keandre Miller was the prize of Wisconsin's recruiting class a year ago. This year, the Badgers have signed 5 players to national letters of intent for 2019, highlighted by 3 young men from the National Team Development Program. All 3 are forwards: Cole Caulfield, Alex Turcotte, and Owen Lindmark. Also Dylan Holloway from the Alberta Junior League, and defenseman Mike Vorlicki from Edina, Minnesota. This looks like it could be a heck of a class, Tony.
I mean, offensively, the 4 players you mentioned are all dynamic offensive player. Caulfield's on pace to break, all sorts of scoring records with the U.S. program. Alex Turcotte's going to be a high first-round pick. He's one of those competitors and offensive players that just is on the puck and got great offensive skill. Owen Lindmark's a solid two-way center that can play both ends of the rink. He power play, penalty kill, hard to play against, great speed, really important part of what our plan is moving forward. And then Holloway, whose draft year is 2 years away. So he's a young kid coming in, but has phenomenal speed, strong on the puck. If you watch him play, he plays, you say, that kid's strong enough to play, at the next level right out of the gate. So I think his transition, even though he's young into college hockey, will be a strong one. And then Mike Vorlicki, a defenseman that's playing at Edina, a real solid defenseman that we've tracked for a couple years. And Oz compares him to Justin Schultz as when, he was recruiting him. So that's pretty impressive for me to hear that we might be getting another Justin Schultz.
Sure. That's the future. The present is Wisconsin going to Ann Arbor to take on Michigan. The Wolverines, ranked 14th in the country, like Ohio State, made it to the Frozen Four a year ago. Lost some key contributors, though, in Cooper Marody and Tony Calderon, guys that could put the puck away. Last weekend, they gave up 11 goals against Penn State in a series split. Like we saw last year when Wisconsin and Michigan played, a lot of goals were scored, and I'm hoping that's the case this weekend.
It was wide open. I watched those 2 games, and it was a chance, both ends of the rink, just chance after chance after chance. So we don't want to get in a track meet with them. We're trying to establish something as a forecheck team, a possession team that's going to grind you down. But so I think that's important as we get into the series. We don't want to win a game 7-6. Obviously, if we won 7-6, we'd be happy. But if to have success, I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, a 3-2, maybe a 4-3 game. But we're going to have to grind it out. I think special teams, as always, will be a huge factor into this series. And Michigan obviously has Hughes, and then you got Quinn Hughes in the back end. He was a high pick in first round with Vancouver. Could easily be in the NHL this year. Mm-hmm. He's somebody that we're going to have to contain and be aware of when he's on this.
All right, have a great Thanksgiving in Ann Arbor.
Do the same.
I will. That's head coach Tony Granato. Wisconsin and Michigan Friday and Saturday night. Both games start at 6:30 Central Time, 6 o'clock pregame on the Badger Sports Network. For Tony Granato, I'm Brian Posick. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest.